Hi, welcome back or welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a split screen in Final Cut Pro without the use of any plugins whatsoever. If you find it helpful, feel free to subscribe. And without further ado, let's begin. Yep, you heard right at the beginning. No need for plugins. It's a tutorial on how to do this without plugins. So what you'll need first is your clip. You've dragged your clip in. You're pretty much good to go. But before you do that, just so we have it for later, just hold down Options and then drag above. So you'll have two copies of the same clip. Alternatively, you can just, duplicate your layer or drag it in twice or whatnot. Entirely up to you what you want to do. And then after that, we are going to go to the titles tab, as I call it. Scroll all the way down to generators and choose solids, okay? Now, alternatively, you can just import a line or whatever, but for the purpose of this, we're going to choose solids. We're going to go ahead and pick this, okay? This is what we're going to pick. We're going to make sure it covers the length of our video by just dragging it as needed. And then we are simply going to go up here to the inspector. If you don't have the inspector, just click this icon up top. It will give you the inspector. Make sure this is selected. Down to crop down here. Now if you don't have crop, just double click on this to hit show for crop, and yeah, you are good to go. So what we want to do is we want to trim it, okay? So how we will trim it is we will go ahead and, put this here. We don't need it perfectly trimmed. We'll worry about that later. And then right, we'll also bring that here. Just get it where we want to, okay? That's just the key right there. Get where you want to, get how you want to. Keep the top and the bottom the same. Let's see, we're gonna make that bright white just because. Now, if you want other colors than white, you can hit custom and pick your own color just the same. It's the same process. But we're gonna go with white here. We have this here, but it's not exactly perfect, is it? Well, in order to fix that, we're going to go to transform. That will let us move this where we need to. And I believe this is exactly the middle here. I lined it up using the middle of the transform and the tracker. Then we just click here again, okay? But now you can see, oh, it's not exactly perfect the way we need it. Well, that's simply because we just need to, basically move stuff around a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to make this top one on the right, okay? We're going to also turn this off so it doesn't keep flashing for you guys. But yeah, we're going to make the top one on the right. And how we're going to do that is we're going to select the top one, go over here to positions, and just move this. Now, let's say here's where we want it, okay? So then we will proceed to trim the left a bit, just till we get to that line, just so it's there. And then we will do the same here. We will drag this to the right till we get it exactly where we want. And we don't have to trim that because that's not on top. So that is exactly the way we want to. Now we can simply just play it. And, since they are the same clip, they should both act exactly the same, non-independent of each other. And, we could do the same thing. Say we want it to be a little more elaborate, okay? Say we don't want like simple like we normally have it. Well, we can do something about that, okay? We can use this rotation tool. Let's see. Yeah, exactly right. -90, we'll type that in ourselves. And then we will scale the y-axis. Okay, we'll scale the y-axis. We'll bring this down a bit, about here. That looks about right. You don't always gotta get just perfect. You just have to make sure it looks just perfect. And then we would simply just select both of these, hold down options like we did initially. It turns out we had to put them above one by one. So that works entirely because what we want to do is we actually want to make the top two, go to the top two here. So we want this one to go to the top right and this one top left. So we simply would follow our steps again. We will click on this and then we will drag this up a bit until it gets where we want. And then this time we will go ahead and crop the bottom till it's not visible. And then we will do the same thing with this one. Go up. We don't need to bother. Okay, so let's see. Go up. I know what you're thinking, but I actually made it a little harder on myself. But that's okay. We can rectify it. We just simply go up and, go over. Exactly what we want. Perfect. There we go. It's like we didn't do too much at all. And we didn't. We got them exactly the way we want. Now, as you can see, they are technically bouncing a little bit at, that's up a little bit more. Say we don't want it up a little bit more. Say we want it to be exactly the same amount of up as everything else. Well, we would simply just put this here, and then from the bottom, we would go ahead and, do that, crop a little bit from the bottom, and, well, honestly, that's about it, right? Okay, and there we go. We have the cropping for everything. We have 4. We would just keep doing this for as many times as we needed, many different ways as we needed, and whatnot. And that's how you do it without a plugin. That's how you do split screen in Final Cut Pro. And yeah, hopefully you guys found this helpful. And with that said, I will catch you guys in the future. Later.